Well, polls closed 4 hours ago, and tonight several key races are headed to a runoff. Thank you for joining us this election night. I'm Tessa Spencer.
I'm Ashley Ryan. A busy night and a lot of races called early by the Associated Press. We have live team coverage. Our reporters are spread out across the state.
And we're going to start with the race for governor with 5 high-profile candidates on the Republican ticket, but only Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette and Attorney General Alan Wilson are moving on. So
we'll be checking in with Wilson's campaign coming up, but we are starting with Pamela Evette's campaign in Columbia. Elijah Skipper is there with an update from her watch party.
Evette will now face Attorney General Alan Wilson in a Republican runoff for June 23rd. Whoever wins that will then go on to be the governor nominee for the Republican Party. In Greenville, Elijah Skipper.
All right, it sounds like we are having some technical difficulties. So we know that Evette has currently led in the Republican field in votes along with Attorney General Alan Wilson. The deal is they have to hit at least 50%. They have to clear that 50% threshold to be able to take that nomination. That did not happen. Instead, these two are headed to a runoff. As you can see, that race was just too close. So those two are now facing off on the Republican ticket. So we'll be checking in with her campaign and hearing what she has to say tonight. And I want to see if I can get pulled up for you guys here, a closer look at the GOP race for governor right now. Taking a look at this, we'll go ahead and hear what she has to say.
I wanted to thank 2 of the greatest conservative leaders our nation has ever known. One, my friend and my mentor, Governor Henry McMaster. And President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you for your support.
Well, yeah, and that was one of the key things here. She received Trump's endorsement pretty early on, along with Governor Henry McMaster. So, again, the two are headed to a runoff right now, about 3 percentage points of a difference here. So let's go ahead and hear from Kiana Jordan in Columbia with the latest from the Attorney General's campaign.
Well, the waiting game continues as only a small percentage of votes separated Alan Wilson and Pamela Evette in the Republican primary. Not long ago, Wilson and his running mate Mike Rickenbaugh taking the stage here at the market on Main, giving a very passionate speech calling on voters to support them in the upcoming runoff. Now, while things are quiet here now, that was not the case earlier as dozens chanted and screamed in support of Wilson, calling his name very loudly. Dozens of supporters gathered Tuesday night at the market on Main for the Alan Wilson and Senator Mike Rickenbaugh watch party. Rickenbaugh opened the celebration, calling on Republicans from across the party to unite behind the Wilson-Rickenbaugh campaign. Wilson took the stage, thanking his family, campaign staff, donors, and voters for helping move the campaign into the runoff. He also thanked his former primary opponents, including Senator Josh Kimbrell, who dropped out of the race recently and endorsed him, along with Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who he says also pledged her support and endorsement for him in the runoff. He invited the supporters of his former primary opponents to join his campaign moving forward.
I will fight for you, and I invite all of you who I wasn't your second choice coming into tonight, or I wasn't your first choice. I'm willing to be your second choice tomorrow morning. Give us the chance to fight for you, to fight for the ideals that you found so valuable in those other candidates. Let me be that standard bearer for you. I will carry that for you in the next 2 weeks.
And Wilson told supporters his campaign's focus remains lowering taxes, improving infrastructure, expanding educational opportunities, and increasing government accountability. Now, Wilson and his supporters turned their attention to the 2-week runoff against Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette, with both candidates seeking the Republican nomination. In Columbia, I'm Kiana Jordan.
All right, thank you for that update. Now let's take a look at the Democratic side. State Representative Jermaine Johnson winning his party's nomination for governor. He represents South Carolina House District 52 right now in the Midlands and received about 60% of the vote in the primary. Talking with his supporters tonight, he talked about the importance of serving as a role model for young people across our state.
I mean, it means everything to me. You know, we know that the very first African-American to be a nominee for governor was Theo Mitchell, and that was in 1990. And we haven't had one since. I'm now the second African-American nominee in the history of South Carolina. That's history. And I mean, it's just an amazing thing to be able to show young people that they can do amazing things in this world. And I'm just happy to be that example for them.
Well, Democrats have not won South Carolina's governor's race since Jim Hodges. He was elected back in 1998. Now, keep in mind the winner of November's general election will succeed Governor Henry McMaster. He is term limited, so this is really the first open race for the governor's race since 2010 when Nikki Haley was elected.
Well, switching back to the GOP primary in the last hour, Isle of Palm's businessman Ron Ready conceded his bid for governor. Ready started his campaign only 3 months ago, quickly climbing the polls, but coming up a bit short tonight. News 4's Cameron Lyme spent the evening out at Ready's camp in Cam. What does the future look like for him?
Yeah, according to Ready, he's not planning on running for any political office in the future, but he was proud of his team in the race that they did run. During his concession speech tonight, he said that he will not be endorsing either candidate, saying that he doesn't believe in endorsements. And Tessa, like you said, Ready climbed the polls quickly, but his team telling us that they were gaining ground until President Trump endorsed Pamela Evette. And when those polls closed, his team was optimistic about the chances, but slowly turning into disappointment as the night went on. Ready telling us that this isn't a loss. He's hoping he's paved the way for others.
There is no losing here, because if I inspired someone to do it the right way, to act with grace, to say what they believe to be, have ideas and not get into the gutter and be negative, and I inspire you or someone else to say that's what I want to do, then that's a win.
Ready stated that on his tour across the state, he saw a lot of suffering and will be using his private foundation to help fund and to help others who are in need. In Mount Pleasant, Cameron Limes, News 4.
All right, Cam, thank you. Another major candidate conceding their bid, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, the representative making that decision pretty early. That was around 8:40 tonight after finishing last among the high-profile 5 candidates on the GOP side. Let's get right to News 4's Jesse Klinger live on Daniel Island. You've been following her campaign all night, and certainly a quick reaction from the Congresswoman.
Actually, that's right. Following some slow momentum in the polls, Nancy Mace addressed her supporters this evening, again around 8:40, reflecting on her time in Congress and on the campaign trail. But now she says that she is endorsing Attorney General Alan Wilson for governor after she did blast him kind of on her campaign trail over the past couple of weeks. But now she says the two of them have, quote, buried the hatchet.
I want a law and order governor, and that law and order governor is going to be Alan Wilson. And I not only think he's going to win tonight, I think he's going to mop the floor with Pamela Evette. And I very much look forward to that.
Also in her speech, Mace mentioned that this governor's race is, quote, a spiritual battle between good and evil, adding that it's between people who protect predators versus those who put them in jail. Mace said she looks forward to supporting Wilson's campaign and, if elected, his administration as a private citizen. Reporting live on Daniel Island, Jesse Klinger, News 4.
Thank you, Jesse. And the GOP race for South Carolina's 1st congressional district appears headed to a runoff with unofficial results showing Jenny Costa-Honeycutt and Mark Smith at the top of the crowded contest. Smith says his campaign has been preparing for that possibility from the start. And News 4's Emily Deanne is live out on Daniel Island tonight, where constituents there rallied around him this evening. Emily.
Tessa Ashley, with results still coming in, Smith's campaign says no one was going to outwork them. Over the course of the campaign, they say they attended over 700 events all across the Low Country throughout the 1st Congressional District, building what they call a grassroots operation. Smith's campaign says they expected the possibility of this runoff and are ready for the next phase of the competition.
The voters have made it very clear they're ready for a change and they're ready for a good conservative to be there in Washington, D.C. And we're looking forward to being that candidate when the results are over after the June 23rd runoff.
In the State House, Smith has backed pro-life legislation, supported tax cuts for small businesses, and pushed conservation initiatives. He says he'll continue fighting for public safety and conservative values in Congress. And with votes still being counted, Mark Smith says his campaign is prepared to keep moving forward and working until voters make that final decision on June 23rd. Reporting live from Daniel Island, Emily Deanne, ABC News 4.
All right, Emily, thank you. Well, now to the Democratic ticket. Nancy LaCour and Mac DeFord headed to a runoff as well. News 4's Webb Wright has been following this race and has the latest from DeFord's watch party tonight.
Well, all the decorations are put away. All the balloons are gone here at Mac DeFord's watch party. And we kind of figured this would end up being a two-person race. And sure enough, Nancy LaCour, she got about an 8% lead in this one when it was called, and that should continue to hold up. But Mac DeFord says he made the playoffs, which means he's going to be in a runoff.
Well, we're going to hit the ground running starting tomorrow. We're going to be talking to people. We're going to be making phone calls.
We've already done all the hard work. We're going to keep doing the hard work. If we haven't already met you yet, we will do so in the next 2 weeks.
DeFord shapes this as a battle between a longtime Low Country son and a Palmetto State outsider.
I brought affordable housing to this district. I fought for millions of dollars for, critical coastal resiliency funds. I know what our district needs, and I know what it's not getting.
While LaCour says she wants to bring a message of unity.
Welcoming anybody regardless of party, to be part of this coalition. And people have already joined us, and they will continue to keep joining us. And I think I'm very fortunate with my 35 years of Navy experience in this district, which has such a high number of military and veteran voters.
According to South Carolina law, that runoff has to happen 2 weeks from tonight, which means LaCour is holding a lead while DeFord has to play from behind and do a little catch up. But we don't know what's going to happen until those final votes are cast in just 2 weeks. I'm Webb Wright. We'll throw it back to you.
And the Associated Press has projected incumbent Congressman Jim Clyburn as the winner of the Democratic primary. Now, at last check, Clyburn has received about 92% of the vote, defeating challenger Frederick Goodwin. Clyburn will now advance to the general election in November as he seeks another term in the seat that he's held since 1993.